Calling to order this meeting of the Park and Rec Committee for the City of Brisbane. The time is 6:32 and there are no requests of emergency circumstances under AB 2449, so we can do a roll call.
Okay, thanks, Lisa. Time for a roll call. Chairperson Greenlee,
Here?
Commissioner Comerford,
Present.
Commissioner Kern,
Present.
Commissioner Ocampo,
Present.
Commissioner Sewell,
Present.
Commissioner Sims.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, now we move on to the adoption of the agenda. Are there any deletions, additions, or changes?
I'd like to make a motion to move that, to approve the agenda. Sorry. I'll second that.
Okay, sounds good. So we're moving to adopt tonight's agenda. So we'll do our roll call again. Chairperson Greenlee,
Aye.
Commissioner Comerford,
Aye.
Commissioner Kern,
Aye.
Commissioner Ocampo,
Aye.
Commissioner Sewell,
Aye.
Commissioner Sims.
Aye.
Thank you.
Moving on to number 4, the approval of minutes. Do I have an approval of minutes?
I move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, approving the minutes from our last meeting. Chairperson Greenlee,
Aye.
Commissioner Comerford,
Aye.
Commissioner Kern,
Aye.
Commissioner Ocampo,
Aye.
Commissioner Sewell,
Aye.
Commissioner Sims.
Aye.
Thank you.
Great. Moving on to item number 5. Do we have any citizens communications?
It appears we do have a raised hand from one of our attendees online. What's the name? James, we will go ahead and unmute you and you can make public comment.
Hello, everybody. I don't know if anybody can see me. James Frisk here. I'm on a little family walk right now. I don't know if you can see video or it's just audio.
Just audio.
Oh, okay. Well, hi, everybody. Good evening.
Hello, James.
Yes. Hey, I'm just want to have a little bit of input on an idea for a community, I guess, fitness sort of installation that would be by the park, well, in the park. And, you know, what that would be, I'm sure you've all seen those type of things like around different cities where, you know, there's some pull-up bars, some little like sit-up stations. I mean, there's varying degrees of how it could be done. And I wanted to see what the feasibility of that is. And, you know, if that's something that Park and Recs could actually get done. Because, yeah, I think it'd be a great thing for the whole community, for everybody, for the kids, you know, it's for the parents that go and watch their kids at the park. For, you know, Dawn David with her boot camp class in the morning. I mean, the list goes on. So I wanted to see if you guys, if there was any feasibility of getting something like that done.
Do I address him?
Thank you so much, James. Oh, that was loud. Since this item is not on our agenda, we just accept the public comment and
Okay.
the commission can make a determination as to whether or not they want to incorporate that on a future meeting agenda.
Okay. And how can I be sure that that gets put onto an agenda, or how does that happen?
Staff would work with the commission chair to determine whether or not they wanted to move that forward.
Okay. Is there anybody that I could contact directly?
It's just me.
And I'm looking at you. I just pulling up the thing right now. Miss, I can't read it. I see
You
an
and I
A in
have
your
it-
first name.
Noreen.
Noreen. Ah, yes. I've emailed you before.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys taking my comment.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks,
All right.
James.
Bye-bye.
Okay, any other citizens communications?
Yeah, hold on.
So cute.
There are no other citizen communications at this time.
Okay, so moving on to presentations. Number 6, item C, introduction of the new recreation coordinator, Angela Rodas.
Yeah, so typically when we have a new full-time employee join our team, we bring them to the commission to introduce them. This is not a new face. Angela has actually been part of our department for the past 4 years. She has worked primarily in our after-school program, but also supported department operations in preschool and special events and a slew of other things. She is a recent graduate of San Francisco State. She has a political science degree, and she has been filling the position on an interim basis since Scott left last year in the fall. So we're really excited to have her join our full-time team, and she's been a really great asset to the department thus far. So we wanted to introduce her formally. And Angela, I don't know if you want to say a few words, no pressure. But please join us in congratulating her on her appointment and having her be part of the full-time team. Hold on one second, Angela. I think your mic is not on. Is it green on the podium?
It's red.
Try now.
Testing.
There you
testing.
go.
I did just want to give a quick recap of what we've been working on with our youth programs. Over the last 2 weeks, we were having our spring camp going on, and we had about 40 kids enrolled for each of those weeks. And we had some fun demonstrations come out. We had some bounce houses. We had a contractor, Challenge Island, come out and help the kids build some Minecraft shelters. And we also had a coach come out and do some fitness drills with the kids, and all 3 of those were big hits. And we also had some awesome pool days. Thankfully, the weather was in our favor on those days. And we also just this last Saturday had our Parents' Night Out event where we had 28 kids enrolled, and we watched a movie, we had dinner, and we made ice cream sundaes. And that was a big hit both with the kids and with the parents who were able to enjoy a night off. So just wanted to give a quick recap of that.
Wow, thanks a lot. That sounds wonderful. And thank you for all that you do. Our staff is going to really enjoy having you on board. I'm
Thank you.
sure.
Welcome, Angela.
Thank you.
Thanks, Angela.
Okay, next we have the Youth Advisory Committee, otherwise known as the YAC, the
Yes.
teen programs.
So I'm going to introduce Sarah, our recreation coordinator, and she's going to kick it off to the YAC.
Hello. So before I have the main event speak, I just wanted to do a quick recap of our leader in training program, which we do during summer camp. So last summer we had 17 leaders between 7th and 11th grade volunteer. And so far this year, we've had 14 applicants. The deadline to apply is next Friday. So if you know anyone who's interested between 7th and 11th grade, they're welcome to apply. And basically they learn how to be a camp leader, job skills. We do have them apply and interview, so they practice those skills as well. So I know the more exciting part. We'll let them take it away.
Can I ask you a question, though?
Oh, yeah, of course.
How many do you take in your program? I think you said you had.
We had 17 last year. It really varies based on like how available each kid is. So some will only do like 2 weeks, some will do the whole summer. We try to keep it like at most 10 a week.
Gotcha.
So
Great. Thank you.
super. Thank you.
One more question. What's the age?
So it's going into 7th grade to going into 11th, 12th grade. Anything else?
And that's open to residents and non-residents?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Sarah.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I was in LIT last summer and I can attest it was a really rewarding experience, but yeah, it was really interesting and really fun way to spend my summer. So I'm Charlotte. I am in 10th grade. I am the secretary of the YAC. I've been on the YAC for a little bit over a year probably. And yeah, so we're all just going to introduce ourselves, name, grade, how long we've been working.
My name is Sebastian. I'm in 9th grade and I've been on YAC for 2 years.
My name is Pierre. I'm in 11th grade. I've been on YAC for about a year.
My name is Stasha. I'm in 11th grade and I've also been on it for a little bit over a year.
My name is Kate. I'm in 11th grade and I've been on it since about fall of last year.
Hi, my name is Sasha. I am in 11th grade and I've been on YAC for 2 years.
Hi, I'm Nolan and I'm in 8th grade and I've been in YAC for about 1 year.
Hi, nice to meet you all. My name is Sagar Rajan, and I'm the active president for the Youth Advisory Committee, and I've been serving on the YAC for 6 years now.
Ooh. On a job.
Hi, my name is Andy. I'm in 10th grade and I've been in YAC for 2 years.
Yeah, so as you all can see on the presentation, the YAC does stand for Youth Advisory Committee. So what we do is we meet once a month to advise on all matters related to the youth and be like a youth perspective. We do that through organizing events, facilitating events. And through that, you'll see there's kind of a list of values that we're learning about. Outreach, you'll hear while we present like what we've been doing, you'll hear that there's been a lot of outreach. This is a really great leadership opportunity for all of us just to be a part of the local government and be able to act as this youth perspective. Social opportunities and community is also something that we've been working to facilitate. And yeah, this has been really important to us all because we've been able to learn a lot more about participating in our community, being active members of our community, being leaders in our community So yeah. And this is just an annual summary of everything that we've been doing. This presentation is just going to be us walking through what we've been doing over the past year, and we'll end with some opportunities to ask questions. So the first and most consistent thing that we do is we meet every month, the first Wednesday of the month in the city council meeting. I mean, not the city council, the city hall room over there. And yeah, at this meeting, we have an agenda. We discuss what we're working on, and that's where we meet to plan our events. We've had new member recruitment and interviews. We did that in August. This has been a really great opportunity for our newer members to kind of go through that interviewing process, which can be pretty daunting at times. So getting that on a lower level when it's just fellow teens interviewing you is really great. We meet from September to May throughout the school year, and we generally discuss just the actions that we're going to take. We do a lot of like social opportunities and like bonding experiences together and like answer questions and do icebreakers and things like that. And yeah, it's important to us to do these meetings because we get to learn a lot more about just being a part of our government and like even the action of just going to City Hall and walking through the door and sitting down at that table, that circular table, and getting an agenda in front of you is a really unique opportunity to interact with local government in a way that is pretty unique and good experience. Yeah.
One of the first events that we as the YAC did was help prepare the fire hydrants to be repainted and restored. We did this about like last May. We helped the fire hydrants be like prepped by repainting them and sanding them. We painted them white for artists to come and paint over them. My personal favorite fire hydrant in Brisbane is the Mike Wazowski one in the park. I just think it's funny, it's cute. It's something that like if I were to do one, I would do something like that. And doing the fire hydrants is kind of an important piece of Brisbane because it's a unique thing to our city that not very many other cities do. And since we're so small, it's kind of cool to have our own unique traditions.
One of the events that we got the privilege of being a part of was North County Fire's Wildfire Awareness Day in partnership with the Brisbane Police Department and the Brisbane Lions Club. We were there in the morning, setting up tables, chairs, and tents for these organizations to work under. And it's really important that this information about fire safety and general safety is spread to the community in order to keep the community safe and like out of reach of any like potential fires. Me personally, after going to this event, I made sure all my smoke detectors and fire alarms were in working order, and the Yak and North County Fire advise that everyone in the community do the same in order to keep Brisbane a safe community.
All right. So one of our first events that we helped out in the fall of 2022 was the garden show. And I want to thank Chairperson Greenlee for actually helping revive the garden show after years of it being dormant. So it was an awesome experience to have it back. So as a Yak, what we did was we helped set up the garden show itself. So we added a little bit of flowers, we added the painting, and we just helped people bring in the plants to and from the show and exhibit. And so it was more than just a garden show. It was actually more of like a showcase where people brought in plants that they had grown in their garden that they were really proud of, and they talked about it. They compared with others. It was a cool way to learn about native plants in Brisbane that grow, that we may be able to plant more easier since the wind is pretty rough here. So certain plants grow really well. And it was a really cool experience to learn about more native plants. It was also nice to learn about plants that grow well that aren't native. And so that was pretty fun. There was a competition. However, I would say it wasn't a competitive one, but more of an educational one. People talked about their plants, how they grew, what made them work. And it was just really fun to see the whole community come together, talk about their plants, and walk away with a cool educational experience.
Can I just mention that you guys were great and a real helping hand?
As a Yak member, we've also helped out with the pop-up bucket hat tie-dye event. And basically we help set up with tables and refill tie-dye bottles. This would help the Brisbane community by letting children express themselves that they aren't able to with words. Then my favorite part about it was being able to create and design my own hat.
So for Day in the Park, Yak really wanted to take part and contribute in an event that really brings the whole community together. So we felt the need to help out with setting up the games for the kids, and they really liked the games. They kept coming back to play, so it was a good opportunity to connect with other kids. And I remember being younger and also really enjoying Day in the Park. So it was nice to kind of give that experience to other people. I think my favorite part of the event is just the overall environment. I think it's a really nice environment. There's lots of people there to talk to, lots of games, activities, food, music. So it's just a really fun time, and we all really enjoyed spending our time at Day in the Park.
My personal favorite event this year was the Halloween dog costume contest. Not only was it great to see all the dogs running around the dog park and have members of the community that were pet owners interact and make relationships with one another, but the money raised at this event went to a very charitable cause, which was PAWS, standing for Pets Are Wonderful, which is a nonprofit operating out of the Mission District of San Francisco. And their funds, they use their funds to help financially impoverished pet owners take care of their pets and make sure that their pets are happy and healthy. Our very own chairperson, Mr. Kern, won best pair with his dog Stella, dressed up as avocado toast, as you can see in the picture on the slide. Yeah, it was really great. So yeah.
Hi, so unfortunately, one of our Yak members, Orion, couldn't make it here with us. So I'll be filling in for him and talking about what the UAH Poetry Slam was. And it was essentially just Brisbane's idea, a committee partnered with the lyrical opposition with the library. And it was just for basically more inclusion in the community. And Orion basically facilitated this event, and it was important because he basically just had the kids make poems, and it really connected connected them, and it also spread a very positive message.
So the Yak Social is an event where the Yaks of all cities in the Bay Area gather around to meet, discuss, and just talk about how things are going with their committees in their different cities. So our most recent one was held in the Palo Alto Community Center, and we had about 75 different Yak members across 10 different cities show up. And we had a good discussion that was really meaningful. We played a lot of games that were meant for team bonding and just lighthearted games to really open up the discussion. It was a cool way for us in Brisbane to learn about how our Yak is built and what things we struggle with and what things we're good at. So we obviously have a really tight knit and good community that participates a lot, judging based on how many people we have in ratio. We have quite a bit of participation. However, not having a high school is a little detrimental to how much teen participation we have. And so we have taken ideas and inspiration from cities such as Palo Alto and San Jose, who do have a lot of teen involvement, on how we can better improve ours. So it's a great way to exchange notes and borrow ideas from other cities and neighboring cities. We have been going to these events for a long time since Yak started. In my 6 years, I've gone to quite a few. They've all been really beneficial. I do have to say, even though Brisbane is small, we do loom large at the event. We have a pretty big presence and everyone's really interested in knowing what Brisbane's up to. So it's definitely a fun event and it's definitely a cool experience.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
My name's Renee.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise. So tell me again, or tell me a little bit about what you mean by team involvement.
So with team involvement, let's
Am I
say
hearing, is it team,
Teen,
T-E-A-M or teen?
teen, like teenager.
Okay, great.
So what I mean by that is that let's say we have Day in the Park. And so we would see that the age group of people that are showing up are elementary and middle school. And so the teen involvement we do have around 13 to 14, we wouldn't get as many 16 or 17-year-old high schoolers as we would like. And that's just because we don't have a high school in Brisbane. And so we've been working around ways that we could do that by sending out things to neighboring schools in Pacifica or Daly City and encouraging them to come to Brisbane because, I mean, we do have high schoolers here. And so we've been working towards that, and Palo Alto and San Jose and I mean, other cities have really good ideas. And so we've been borrowing with their ideas and just creating more events that can encourage teens that don't go to high school in Brisbane, but should still come out.
Great.
That's been
Yeah.
awesome.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, of course.
Another event that Yak helped with was the Festival of Lights. We helped set up, clean up, and distribute cookies and hot chocolate to community members who came to the event. This year it was a little bit different because it was raining really hard the entire time.
I remember that.
So we moved the snacks and drinks into the senior center, and we're still able to get a pretty large amount of like people coming in to grab something warm to help with the cold weather. Something that I remember about this event from my childhood that I think is really an important piece of it is that it kind of encourages like a bunch of different members of the community to come together. You have like a wide range of like age and like just a bunch of different people coming in, and you get to connect with them, which I think is really important to the Brisbane community since we are so small. It's really important to try to make like closer relationships with each other. My favorite part about the event this year was Santa. He was really fun to meet. He's a really nice guy. We had a little bit of a photo op with him. It was fun.
So I think it's important to connect with the seniors because especially in Brisbane where there's not a lot to do, and especially if you're a little bit older, there's even less to do. So I think doing that event, being the senior karaoke, makes it a lot better for them because then they have something to do that day or something they could look forward to. And the things that I enjoyed from this event is I feel like everyone was in on it and everyone who was there got up and sang at least one song. And that was just good to see like the whole community coming together, you know, no matter age or anything like that. And if I was to do this again, I'd sing some Billy Joel or something.
Yeah.
Hi. So I'm here to discuss how Brisbane has partnered with the Center for Age-Friendly Excellence along with San Mateo County in order to make Brisbane age-friendly certified. And I went to the Center for Age-Friendly Excellence meeting in order to provide some input on a youth perspective on how to make Brisbane more age-friendly. And along with my fellow peers, we provided a lot of good ideas on how we can make Brisbane more age-friendly. And something we learned from this meeting was that a lot of seniors wanted some technological help. And as of today, we now offer teen tech support every Wednesday from 4 to 5, 55 and up. You can come in and we will do our best to help with technological support.
Wow, that's great. Help.
Hi, my name is Siobhan, and so far, one of the new and upcoming events that we've been having is the middle school dances. So far, we have had 2 dances, the first one being Celebrity Soiree, and the second one being Winter Wonderland. And we do have one upcoming next Friday, which will be Out of This World themed. So far, my favorite part of attending dances is that we don't have to wait a whole year for the regular middle school dance. We get dances throughout the year, which I think is really cool. I also think it's really cool to connect with other kids our age, because they're not just in our middle school. I like especially the photo booth. It's one of my favorite things to do. And yeah, I also love the dancing because it's really fun and we got to dance with some of the team members.
Wait, can I ask a question real quick? So this is a teen yak dance, and this is open to kids who are from all over. Like anyone can come to these dance. You don't have to live in Brisbane. You don't have to go to school in Brisbane. You can come to the dance. That's wonderful. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, well, since another one of our values is to kind of encourage like social opportunities and community, we're going to do that not just through those dances that Siobhan was just talking about, but also through teen connection opportunities, especially during the summer where a lot of teens just kind of hang out by themselves because there's no school or anything. So through that, we have planned 5 events just for teenagers, including drop-in at the Sunrise Room for just teens to come and hang out, and a glow swim, which we had last year and I know was pretty successful. And this year we're also going to have an ice cream sandwich tutorial, which seems pretty cool. We're going to bake cookies and then put ice cream in them and then taste them. So yeah. Yeah. Oh, actually, wait. But yeah, I guess it's supposed to be for teens only because we're building teen engagement.
So they probably call
You don't look like a teen.
The first one will ever be too old.
All right. Thank you guys for listening so attentively and for taking the time out of your guys' busy schedules to listen to us talk about Yak. And then I also want to say thank you to Sarah. All these events that we talked about today and how in-depth we went into this is all because of Sarah. Sarah has been a great help to Yak, and without her, none of this would have been possible. If you have any questions, comments, or recommendations, we have some time.
Yeah, let's start at this end. Julie, go ahead.
Thank you. So first of all, just loved hearing about all of these activities. It's just, they sound amazing and so enriching and like so much fun. So thank you for sharing. I guess the question I have, and this is kind of maybe a more serious question. You know, I've been reading so much about the teen health crisis, mental health crisis. And I'm curious about any thoughts on that, like any activities you might recommend specifically to support teens who are, you know, struggling right now.
Right. So one thing we one thing that we have done as Yak is we attended a conference on teen mental health in the Jefferson Union High School District, which was, so these are the high schools that are available to the Brisbane residents, the public high schools. And we as Yak did provide feedback and input on how we could have an event that supports teens and teens that are struggling with mental health issues. Something that was definitely brought up during that conference, during that meeting, and something that we as Yak do want to recommend is coming out and joining the community with these events. I know it may be a little bit shy, a little bit hard to do, but once you're there and you have like a base goal, so let's say everyone's making ice cream sandwiches. That's something you now all have in common with someone, regardless of age, regardless of gender, regardless of anything. That's now something that you all are doing together. It's a good experience and it's how you build community. I think these small steps, while they may seem insignificant or really small, they can really help someone who is struggling with mental health. And then, of course, we would advocate for resources if anything is really severe that someone would need.
I have a question
Yeah.
tagging on to that.
Of course.
I know there's a bunch of, thanks for, Jovi, can you go back to that list of all the activities and involvement you have? It's just, thank you so much for everyone for doing all this and contributing. I know like with the seniors, they have retreats,
Right.
like the trips, like casino. Well, for teens, is there something that this group has, like a weekend or like a ropes course or something where everyone, can come out and just, help with, get together, learn more about each other as an individual and within each other? And is there something like that?
Right. So with the teen community in Brisbane, everyone is pretty busy and everyone's pretty all over the place. You have a lot of people commuting from different cities and from different areas with different schedules. So it's hard to match up. That's why we really want to optimize this summer. So we have a lot of different community events for teenagers to come together and have that relaxing, maybe not casino experience, but we do have a pool movie. And so I'm sure that could be a lot of fun. And so we do have events that are like these that are just low stress. You don't have to worry about anything. Just come in, have fun. And it's a good way for teens to de-stress. And I'm hoping it's going to be hot in the summer. So I think the pool would be really fun for a lot of teens.
Thank you.
Okay, Frank?
I just want to say thank you so much to all of you for stepping up, not only for yourselves, for each other, and for our community here. And I absolutely agree, Sarah is awesome. And a special thanks to you guys that were out, for Festival of Lights that night. Weather-wise was a disaster, and I saw you guys out there. So well done. But thank you so much for coming tonight.
Yeah, Renee? You're okay? Tom?
You guys are so brave, getting up there and talking. You want my job?
Yeah.
So Commissioner Greenlee and I are on the Public Art Advisory Committee, and boy, would we love to have your help and invite, your input, what you guys think would be important as far as public art, which kind of touches on everything we've talked about here. So I think that would help. If anyone's really into art and they want to join us, we'd love to try to collaborate with you guys.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, just to tag on to that, there's all kinds of art that teens could be involved in. There's filmmaking. You guys probably have the technical skills to really maybe make a whole film festival or, something maybe you guys could think about. There's all kinds of visual arts and performing arts that we'd love to have you guys involved in and get your ideas. But in general, you've just been a great resource for us. I love tapping into your energy. I think you make all of our events that you're involved in a lot more fun. You guys seem to have a lot of fun. So I would just encourage you to reach out to more of your peers and try and get more people involved, because I think it's enriching all the way around for everybody. So thanks again.
Quick round of applause for them being so brave.
And organized.
Thank you guys so much.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Sarah will set you free, I'm sure.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
I don't know.
I don't want to follow that with budget stuff.
No, we will follow that with budget stuff. We're going to give them lots of money because they're awesome. Okay. Let's see. Moving on. Number 7, old business. Is there any
None.
old business?
No.
No old business. Okay, new business. Item number E, the master fee schedule review and facility rental comparison job.
So
Let's look at that.
I will provide an overview of the staff report that is in your packets and then open it up to discussion. This is something that comes before the commission either on an annual or every 2-year basis. It is one of the responsibilities of the Parks and Recreation Commission to weigh in on the budget and to provide recommendations to the City Council. So what you have included in your packet, the first attachment is the existing current 2022-2023 master fee schedule for Parks and Recreation. At our retreat and also at the last meeting, the commission had requested for staff to come back and to provide kind of a deeper analysis with regards to childcare fees, aquatics fees, and facility rental rates, also comparing them against neighboring agencies in our area. So the information provided in attachment 2 denotes existing fees for our childcare programs, including seasonal camps, preschool, and the Club Rec after school program, and identifies fees charged by comparable programs in San Mateo County. Attachment 3 outlines existing fees for swim lessons and pool rental rates and compares them against those of agencies in our area. And attachment 4 includes the master fee schedule for facility rentals by fiscal year and fees charged for comparable indoor facilities. You can see on the tables provided there, we did some additional analysis so that you can see the revenue over the last 5 years, as well as an analysis of our rental user groups, which looks at how frequently residents, non-residents, and nonprofit groups utilize our facilities. It looks like we can talk in depth further if you'd like about the revenue or the user group analysis if you have specific questions. But based on the information provided today, the commission can discuss and make recommendations to staff to either research additional fiscal impacts or make recommendations to the City Council for Parks and Recreation fees in the upcoming fiscal year. Happy to answer questions or open dialogue to the commission. It's a lot of information to digest, I know.
How do we walk through this? What would be a good way? Could we just go attachment by attachment? Would that work?
Sure.
Start with attachment 2. Is that the first one?
The first attachment is just the current master fee schedule.
Do you have an extra copy that did not print with my packet?
Do you have an extra copy? I think Jovi will take care of you.
Yeah.
I did not bring it electronically, no, but it's available on the city's website if people are watching from home.
Is that attachment number 4?
Attachment number 1 is the master fee schedule.
Okay, where's attachment 1? Here we go.
And then attachment 2 and 3 begin the comparison analysis. And 4. Yeah.
Noreen, I had one question, just looking at the first attachment. For the rental user group analysis. We have residents, non-residents, and nonprofits. Are the nonprofits in general Brisbane nonprofits or
for the most part, yes.
Okay, great, thank you.
And then I'm just curious on the park rentals. Looks like we just changed the entire scheme. I'm just curious what drove that. So I think it looks like last year we were per hour with a 3-hour minimum. And now we're going per day.
Correct.
Yeah.
Primarily because with a 3-hour minimum, people would just rent it for 3 hours and then stay out there all day. Because we don't back up rentals against one another. And so we found that people were using it well beyond what they had reserved it for or what we had permitted for. And so understanding kind of the overall use of the area and the typical patterns that exist of picnic renters, it seemed like most groups were out there at anywhere between 5 and 6 hours, including their setup and cleanup time. So it made more sense to transition to a daily rate. And that's based on kind of a 5-hour rental. That way they know that they have it for the day and they can kind of set up and clean up and be on site without being restricted. So it made more sense for us to transition to that daily rate.
Thanks. And then I do see new fees for areas 1, 2, and 3. Are those new areas that we didn't have available before? I'm sorry, I'm on that same page. Are those just new areas that we didn't rent before?
No, they were just broken out separately in the previous version of the master fee schedule. They were listed individually, but since it's all the same fee across the board, it made sense to just consolidate that.
Okay, good, thanks.
Good questions.
This is online, right?
Yes.
And has there been any public commentary on or any issues with any of the pricing?
I have not received any public comments, no.
Well, I also wanted to add a comment to the community park rental. I think this would be helpful, like the per day, what you mentioned, at least we know like with the cleanup too, especially of making sure that things get cleaned up after that particular rental.
Yes.
Based on like what we talked about in the past. So
yes.
Yeah, it seems like if you rent it for the day, we know who to hold responsible. Whereas if there's 3 different groups that are moving in and out, plus it just seems like it's for our small park, it seems like less churn on the park.
So it's a little bit more controlled use.
Yeah, I think even though it's a big jump, I think that it's still a good deal for, for the amount of people that you would have on our lawn and using these facilities. Now, the tables, area 1, 2, 3, 4 tables, does that mean somebody rents that whole area of all those tables?
Correct.
So you can't just rent one table? No. Okay. Anything else on attachment 1?
I just have a question in general are there any areas, Noreen, in terms of facilities where we're not recovering our costs, what it costs to have staff there actually making everything happen, cleaning up? And I know that's probably a deeper analysis, so I'm not asking you to do that level of analysis, but like if you're thinking about it, where are the areas that you're saying, gosh, this actually costs us more than it's bringing in?
So anytime a nonprofit group uses our facility, they don't pay any fees. So we're absorbing all of the cost of staff time, maintenance, custodial, utilities. So that would probably be the biggest one. For the majority of, I'm just speaking of Mission Blue, the majority of resident and non-resident private rentals, I would say that the costs are mostly covered, not including overhead, all of us, and finance and so forth. But nonprofits are where kind of that largest gap exists because they don't pay any fees, and that's just based on existing city policies.
Thank you. I mean, and also I just want to compliment you for the tables and the comparisons. I just found that very helpful.
It was a group effort. Jovi did some legwork, Nicole did some legwork. So, but it's helpful to compare apples to apples and to have an understanding of what comparable agencies are charging.
I think adding to that point too is that was a great comment on which ones are also like which rentals are most used would also be helpful. Like is there something listed on that and somewhere like the most utilized rental? Is that like a number, like a number?
Oh, here it is, I think. Is it on average?
You mean like who is using our facilities
or like a number, like how often these are being rented? So say aquatics, like that's a popular one, like the private rentals. How many of those have been rented in 2022 residents? And then, like how many events occurred just to get an idea of how often they're being utilized or.
So you mean like
at the fees?
Total usage compared to total available use?
I would say like total, like just to see like how, like, so for Mission Blue, how many times has it been rented out in 2022? And then to see that also, I think that would also be helpful somewhere. I mean, I know we can't predict it, but it's like a good, like, oh, this is what we did last year and then previous years. And we can see that growth of like, oh, you know, and then I think that'll also help on like maintenance, maybe like, okay, Mission Blue needs a lot of help and all that stuff, like kitchen wise and things like that. I think utilization or something like that. I don't know.
Don't have that analysis tonight, but I think the closest indicator is the revenue. So if you're looking at like revenue from 2021 was $27,000 for rentals. And I know that we were still experiencing the impacts of the pandemic during that time, but 2021 to 2022 was our highest over a 5-year period, jumped up to almost $120,000. So, I mean, that gives an indication of expanded use as well. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that was that big of a, that sounded like a really big jump.
It's a lot.
Do we know why?
I think it was primarily attributed to individuals who were canceling or postponing events during the pandemic and then bringing them back when it was safe to kind of congregate again. So we had a lot of deferred rentals that came back online.
Okay, thanks.
What was the majority of those rentals? With that jump,
I would say mostly were private rentals.
Was the private rent from the park and Mission Blue?
No, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Correct.
Thank you.
A big jump there too was picnic rentals in the park. People were just out using the park.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Noreen, in question about the nonprofit use of the facilities, is it nonprofits that are resident to Brisbane? Is it nonprofits that serve Brisbane, or is it just nonprofits in general?
It's both.
Oh.
The majority is Brisbane-based nonprofit organizations like Brisbane Dance Workshop, the Lions Club, San Bruno Mountain Watch, the Mob, those nonprofit organizations.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Thank you.
Is there anything here that you guys are worried about? Has gone up too much?
Gone up too much? No.
Okay.
Something that has been kind of historically on our radar is childcare fees, because if you'll look at attachment 2, you can see that we're pretty low compared to other organizations, especially when it comes to like camps and rates for after school program and preschool. I think that has been a priority for council in the past in making sure that essential childcare was affordable for all residents. And so traditionally, that's why our rates have remained pretty low, but we really haven't done more of an in-depth analysis over the past 5, maybe even 10 years to look at kind of what that threshold is within the community. We've had people say from our childcare programs, and we can tell by the demand that it's highly desirable and that the demand exists. And we've had residents and families say, I'm willing to pay more. So I think maybe it warrants some further analysis in determining where that comfortable threshold is, but also further promoting the fact that we have a fee waiver policy. So for individuals that are residents that are unable to afford the program, we do have a fee waiver available to offset the costs for those individuals. So that's something that I would possibly suggest bringing forward to the commission as warranting additional conversation.
Yeah, we learned that at the retreat. And I'm glad you're able to say that tonight.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, Noreen, just looking at this, and for the other commissioners, I just did a quick average here for the seasonal camp comparison. The average rate here for our fellow cities and their programs is $362 per resident and $400 for non-resident. We are the second most affordable on this list. And, I would go back to the council and say, we could probably take a 10-20% bump and people wouldn't even feel that. Again, I don't have children, but I'm just saying we are way off the mark here. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And if we want to retain quality staff and quality content for our kids, I think it's important to stay, to where we can pay people and we can afford to keep our facilities good for our kids.
Right.
Because if we're too cheap and we're too overrun with just not maintaining and we're not meeting our budget, then yeah, we're going to need an adjustment. I was just wondering, what's the next step for this?
So the next step would be for the commission to make formal recommendation to city council when we take the budget to them. My understanding is that that will occur in very early June or late May. So we have one more commission meeting until that happens. So if you wanted to bring this back to make some kind of crunch some numbers and do some more formal analysis and identify, okay, here's where we think those thresholds are. And then we can document that and make those recommendations to city council when we present our budget to them.
So May would be, that would be the cutoff point. We would have to have this completely wrapped up in a unified recommendation from this council to council.
Yes.
By May.
Yes.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask one more question. I think there's another facet of this that I'd like to look at, which is kind of the number of residents versus non-residents in these programs. I'm very hesitant to raise rates for residents. I think we could do it. And I hear that some residents would gladly pay more. I just want to be really sensitive to the fact that there are a lot of residents who may not be in a position to pay more. And it sounds like what we want to do, which makes so much sense, is just raise for people who can't afford it so that we can supplement people who are struggling. And I really like that, but I'm interested in the non-residents. The thing I don't want to be is the one everyone goes to because it's the most affordable option where they're driving away from their town. So I really want to kind of zero in on that and understand that better.
I don't know. We can come back with that information.
Okay.
But just off the top of our heads, the majority of like our after school participants are from BES. So they are mostly Brisbane residents. And same with kind of our seasonal camps. Those tend to be, I'd say, 80 to 90% resident.
Yeah, from what I remember when my kid was small, it was a mad rush. Yeah. To get your kid, in that line. Yes. Is that still true? I'm sure it is.
Yeah, there's no more line. It's online.
It's online and and it's nerve wracking for the parents.
Yeah,
it is. It's really nerve wracking. So I think if we're good, we're desirable, we have a very good program. I don't think being too cheap is an asset to this program. And I think there needs to be adjustment. I just wonder how you do that, and be sensitive to too much of a hit to parents who have taken they're shelling out the money for these kids.
Well, that's exactly the hard thing. It's a hard thing to do, right? But yeah, I think if there's a way we could figure that out or maybe get some suggestions based on experience, it would be helpful.
This whole thing seems like a lot of number crunching, and for me, and I'm sure for you, is kind of overwhelming. Is there a way that we could do like a workshop on this or some kind of separate meeting that we're able to really, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Is that through the recreation programs? Is that through the recreation programs subcommittees where we would talk more of this depth of?
You could, yes, and then
bring
you
it-
could come back to the full commission, or we could set up a working special meeting of the commission, either between now and the next meeting or between the next meeting and the presentation to city council to recommend fees and budget. That would be an additional meeting beyond our regularly scheduled monthly meetings.
Is this something we want the public to look at and maybe promote to have them look at, see if there's any issues with any of it?
Yeah, they would be encouraged to participate in any of those public meetings.
Yeah.
Is there a way we can have like some kind of forum, like an ad board for those that have like a frequent, like this family has been, the residents have been sending their kid for the past 5-10 years here and hearing their thoughts as well, kind of putting that kind of forum together, I think
we can just encourage
something like that.
Yeah, it would really just be encouraging them to come and participate at a future meeting if they had a desire to provide that level of input.
Got it.
Mhm.
Noreen, when was the last time these rates were looked at?
Well, they're reviewed annually and adopted by council annually. I will say traditionally or historically over the past several years, it's been a incremental 2% increase, and that's usually based on CPI or, but I think council elected during the pandemic not to raise rates. So there, we took a hiatus. And then when it came back, it was an incremental 2% across the board, with the exception of facility rental fees for non-residents. The council had elected to increase those, I think up to 7% for the non-residents to increase that delta. So.
Okay, thank you. I'm thinking of the feedback that we're getting right now on the water rate increase, and people are like, why aren't we taking the appropriate increases on an annual basis and waiting? So it's just my opinion and just a statement for the record here that if we increase the resident fees here by 20%, we're still the second most affordable program on the list here. So a 20% increase doesn't even change our positioning in this list. Just stating that as just a fact that the
Yeah,
Sure.
there's being affordable and there's being,
we're giving it away.
yeah.
I should add too, for camps, that we've the last 2 years been able to offer scholarships as part of the summer enrichment grant through San Mateo County that we secured. So we've been able to offer full scholarships to families for their kids to attend camp all summer free of charge.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I think what I worry about is that the family that doesn't know these programs about scholarships, but looks at the fee online and knows they can't afford it. Is there any information that helps people know that there's alternative ways besides just?
Well, when they sign up, it seems like that would be stated on the sign up that.
I mean, I will
scholarships
say, if
elevate.
I look at something, a price, if I look at a price and I know it's outside my range, I just walk away. I don't probe. Yeah. And so I think that's maybe one thing I'm nervous about.
Yeah, I think incorporating kind of a notation on any of our promotional materials that indicates that scholarships are available or fee assistance is available, hopefully helps to check that box. But I think just generally creating that level of awareness comes over time and by word of mouth. So.
Awesome competitive research, you guys. This is a lot of work that you've put in here. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Can you just tell me just a little bit about what you know about this Mountain View program for the after school program comparison here? It says it's a free lottery.
We were shocked by that too. So it must be, I don't know that much about it. Nicole's the one who spoke with Mountain View, but we were surprised to hear that as well. I do know that they are very limited in their capacity. My assumption would be that either council has made a determination to absorb the cost of that program and have it be a benefit to the community, or they may have received a sponsorship from a large donor,
Corporation.
yeah, who was willing
Google.
to absorb those costs. We can certainly ask to find out, but I would say, generally speaking, in our industry, that is not the norm.
Well, and also a lottery. I mean, a lottery is just too iffy. If I'm a parent looking for a place to put my kid for the summer, I would be biting my nails, Ugh. But free, yay.
They also do their after school programming for, I think it's like 5 or 6 schools in Mountain View. So it's not just one school.
Got it.
I'd be interested in how some of these others do financial assistance for families who cannot afford it. And again, I'm not against raising some of these rates. I think there are a couple of things probably going on where families, I'd gladly pay that for a higher quality program, and that's what they would want. I wonder if we could bring in the Mothers of Brisbane as just like representatives to talk to them about it. But I am really sensitive. It's just a very difficult time for families right now, and they're getting it from all directions.
Yeah.
I think also to add to that, like with the seasonal camps, I think that our programs have done a great job on installments, regardless of what people make. I mean, I've enrolled my child, and I think it was like a 4 installment plan for $196 for a week. Like, that's amazing. So I think that's also been very helpful, I think, for families, I hope. But
the way that we do our registration for summer example or for the school year is that they can sign up and that secures their spot in the whole summer or the whole school year, but we're not asking those fees to be paid upfront. It's through an installment or payment plan so that they can pay incrementally as it works for them.
Can I ask a question about, because I remember how frightened I was that I wouldn't get after school care because it was in such demand. Have you gotten feedback from the community that uses these programs that there's not enough and that they're scrambling for positions, or what is the feedback you hear?
In years past, that was the reality for the after school program, and we were significantly limited by facility space. The new modular allowed us to double the capacity of our after school program, which has been really great. I'm happy to say that we've exhausted our wait list for the after school program. Everyone who has needed a spot in this year's after school program has been offered a spot. So that's really great. Typically enrollment tapers off as the school year goes on. So we see fewer kids on an average daily basis. And that's why we're able to accommodate the wait list. But I mean, our programs are in pretty high demand because there aren't a significant amount of competitors in town and because we are so affordable. So we do see high levels of enrollment, but we do our best to try to accommodate the demand as best we can.
Oh, well, that sounds great. It was really tight before, and there was a lot of fighting about out of town people, using our program and whatever, but I'm hoping that that's less.
Yeah.
Now that we have more facilities.
And we've kind of moved over to a priority registration period where residents have a 2-week buffer before we open to non-residents. So I think that helps as well.
Hey, just one more comment and then I'll be quiet. I just think it's kind of amazing that there is no part day preschool in Millbrae or Daly City, given the amount of kids that are there. And then same thing with the after school program that San Carlos, Belmont, and Millbrae don't offer anything. That's kind of unbelievable to me. So go Brisbane.
It might be that it wasn't specifically listed on their Park and Rec page. Some of the details, like one of the schools here, the San Carlos School District, that was explicitly listed on their Park and Rec page to direct towards. So there might be things that are offered through the school, but not through Park and Rec.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, I think in some of the larger cities where they have multiple school districts, oftentimes the districts will facilitate the after school programs on site specific to each individual school. So it's just not that it's city run.
To clarify that, Daly City does have one. They run it through, I think, like the Westlake Performing Arts building. And that one has been affordable also in the past. It's very similar to the program hours that are listed in the part day preschool program, where it's like Monday, Friday, or Tuesday or Thursday, just like the Burlingame one. Yeah. So
for preschool?
Okay. I sent my older one, my kids there.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Just kind of building on what Frank said, though, I reviewed this information and just felt so proud of Brisbane. It's a characteristic of our city that we support families, and this is documentation of that. And I think it's something we should all be really proud of.
Okay, do we want to look at the aquatic fee comparison? That we're pretty close to, but I noticed that we're the only one who's like, besides Palo Alto, getting into the 0.13 cents. Is there a reason for that? That we're like not just a flat, zero on the end there? No.
I don't know. I mean, like in our master fee schedule, the way that it's broken out, like if you look aquatic swim lessons, you see, $73 per lesson package. That's based on 8 lessons. So that's just how the math fleshes out. Yeah.
Okay.
And I wanted to add to that, swim lessons are pretty affordable here in Brisbane compared to the $65 per lesson, like at a private.
There you go.
$65 a class.
And I will say for pool parties and pool rentals, the last couple summers, like Jeff's booked, every single party slot is booked. So
Are we making money from the pool rentals or is it costing us more money than we're actually bringing in? That's another area. Like, are we covering our costs?
no.
Because I would look at raising the rates to cover the cost of a pool party.
I guess in that vein, if we're not using the pool for a pool party, let's just saying a slot is not filled, what happens to the pool during that slot? Is it just open swim or?
No, we would not be open during that time.
Oh, okay, got it.
So
Thank
it's
you.
open for special. Yeah, they're opening, it's like your own private.
It's dedicated time.
Yeah.
I do have a comment too, like on the pool parties with the residents. We have like how many lifeguards? They're working.
3.
Yeah, I
3
think
guards.
like, yeah, I'm hoping that, there's be some kind of, these rates are really good, by the way, for a party, a private pool party. But I'm hoping like every time, well, I've hosted an event, I would make sure that the lifeguards would be taken care of personally, but I'm hoping that with the rates, like, does that also, that includes with that overhead as well, right? Like, obviously
We're
they're
paying the staff.
hourly and staff.
Yeah, they're paid
Okay.
their hourly rate regardless of how much we charge for
Got it.
the parties.
Or like lunch. Or like,
We
Yeah.
don't provide them
Okay,
lunch,
yeah.
but it would be great. I'm sure they would
Mm.
appreciate it.
yeah, okay.
Well, again, I would like to have further discussion on this in a more focused way, because I think we can tweak this at least to be more in line with what other places are charging.
So I agree. I do think though that there's probably some key questions that we maybe need to in order to have that meeting. I think you guys are stuck with being there.
Not stuck.
Because I mean, I think there was just some key things like, the 2 weeks that residents have that non-residents don't have for signing up. That's information that's actually very important. That without you guys here, we probably wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
You're not
that's a
allowed
big
to meet without us.
Okay, that's good to know. I do think that would be a good use of time. Maybe the key thing was we should probably either let you know ahead of time what some of our questions are by email so you can prepare.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
That would probably be.
Yeah,
so it's not pop quiz.
Yeah, yes, please.
Okay.
So I think what I'm hearing is that the commission would like a little bit more time to digest this information, to ask additional questions, to have us respond to them with additional data. So that could be achieved in one of 2 ways. So we can plan to just bring this back to your regularly scheduled May meeting. And it would be helpful for staff to have those questions ahead of time so that we can draft the staff report, provide that information to you to review before the meeting itself. The public is always more than welcome to come and participate in that meeting and provide input. And then from there, recommendations would be made to City Council. If you feel that it would be imperative to conduct an additional meeting outside of the regularly scheduled meeting, we could try to schedule something, but that will be contingent upon everyone's availability
Right.
and schedule. So
So Noreen, question for you. So if we said, all commissioners need to have their questions submitted to staff, let's just say in 2 weeks, which the next meeting is coming up 3 weeks. It's not 4 weeks out. It's just 3 weeks now. Are you guys going to provide answers in advance of the next meeting or we're getting the answers at the meeting?
So what would happen is, so our next meeting is May 17th. Typically, the agenda packets go out to you guys the Friday before. So you would receive those by May 12th.
Okay.
And in those packets would be responses to the questions that staff received ahead of time.
Okay. What do we think's a fair date, fellow commissioners, to try and get our questions in? It is April 19th right now. If we got them to you by the 28th of this month,
That's next Friday.
that's next Friday.
I think we could do that. I mean, yeah, I think the better, sooner we get them to you, the better. The 28th? Does anyone disagree with that? No? Okay. Do we vote?
You don't need to
No,
vote.
Don't need to vote.
Okay.
Okay, so the 28th is our deadline for questions on these budget items. Also,
Is it?
I would really like to get the public's response to this or some kind of public feedback to this. So how do we encourage that to happen? How can they have access to these numbers also, the public?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
They're available on the city website. They're available in tonight's packet. Sorry, I'm going to take a step back real quick. I made a mistake in that our May meeting is actually May 10th, not May 17th. We're the third Wednesday this month because I was out of town last week. So the packets would go out to you by the 5th.
Okay.
But if you could get them to us if you could get your questions to us by next Friday, that still allows us that first week of May.
Okay.
It's a little tight, but we'll make it work.
Well, hopefully they're not hugely complicated questions.
Yeah. And go ahead, Renee.
So then the next question I have, will come then on the 10th of May, but maybe not aligned. And so, right, so I think what you're looking for is a recommendation, and we may or may not be able to make one if we're not aligned. And so that still gives us time to discuss here at this meeting, and then either if we can align, make a recommendation at the 10th, May 10th, but alternatively, if we have to, like, help me understand that process if you don't have alignment.
Well, you would vote. You have an odd number of commissioners.
Thanks.
And it would be the majority.
Thanks.
Yeah, and that meeting would be where the public would be invited and encouraged to come and give their
As with
their
any
perspective.
commission meeting, they
Yes.
are invited and welcome to come and give input. We can work on creating additional awareness around that topic specifically by sending information out to our existing families that are enrolled in our after-school program, preschool program, camp, so forth.
Yeah, if we could put it out on, the mob list and,
Yep.
and just say, this is when this is going to happen. Please show up
Yep.
and give us your feedback,
Yep.
because we do have a crunch here.
Yeah, we can kind of highlight it in the Friday blast that the city sends out to encourage more people to participate in that process.
Yeah.
So,
Do you want us to email Joby?
why don't you email individually, please do not CC all of the commission. Just send your specific questions to both Jovi and I
Okay,
so that we can confirm that at least one of us received it.
thank you.
Yeah.
And remind us, when does this have to be sent over, sent over to the city council by?
My understanding is that department presentations for the budget will go to council June 1st. Tentatively.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for your flexibility, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Moving on to item F, are we done with the budget for now? Any more questions? No? Okay, moving on to item F, commission reorganizations. It is customary for the Park and Rec Commission to designate a new chair, vice chair, and secretary on an annual basis. This is done so that chairperson responsibilities are rotated amongst the commissioners throughout their terms. The commission will need to facilitate a discussion around nominations and vote in a chair, vice chair, and vote in a chair, vice chair, and secretary, which would be in effect for the commission's next regular meeting. Already. That went fast. Okay, so let's review. I'm the chair. Frank is the co-chair or the vice chair.
Sure.
Who's the secretary?
I'm pretty sure it's Julie.
Julie.
But you never had to step in as secretary, so you got off the hook.
I love that. Okay, I would just like to just open it up for discussion. Does anyone feel moved to be the new chair?
I did observe at the last meeting that Frank did an amazing job with the gavel. And so I'm going to nominate him.
Thank you, Julie.
I third.
You have a
Only if he agrees.
first,
Only if he
second, and third.
agrees. Yeah. there's a
I
third.
fourth. I think Frank is a natural leader. And he's so organized, which I am not. So I really appreciate that he's such
Only
a
if he's
good.
okay with it.
So out of curiosity, do I get a vote in this?
Well, now
you
listen, because I think that any hesitation this is just my opinion, but any hesitation you might have, I would just say you have the backing of all of us. And if you needed like a vacation or something came up and you're like, oh no, I'm the chairperson, I can't miss or whatever, we have your back. We have your back.
Thank you,
And
Lisa.
so it's not like, this life sentence that you can't get out of and oh my God. But we all have a lot of faith in you.
I feel like I should have got here earlier for that discussion.
You just shouldn't have done as well last time. It's never good.
And as far as vice chair,
I'll do it.
I'm thinking Julie needs to move up. It seems like a natural progression.
I don't
doesn't
know who will take my role as secretary because I've done such a
Sounds like
bang up
something I
job.
could do.
Renee can handle
Renee,
the
It's like you
excellent.
didn't even remember you were, so that's perfect for me.
Okay.
I
third.
I
Right, yeah,
third
I
on,
do too.
okay, shall we vote on the new?
So
Okay, how does this work?
in the event that there's not consensus, we would separate the vote out between chair, vice chair, and secretary.
Right.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm hearing is that there's some consensus for Frank as chair, Julie as vice chair, and Renee as secretary.
Yeah.
Volunteered myself. for
It's,
secretary.
is everybody kind of in agreement with that?
Yes.
I
Frank?
believe so, yes.
Okay, so we will do a roll call. Jovi will do a roll call with those nominations for Frank as chair, Julie as vice chair, and Renee as secretary.
All righty, to make it super duper official, let's do our roll call, shall we? Chairperson, or actually, yeah, chairperson for
Yes.
the last
time.
Greenlee.
A big I.
Commissioner Comerford,
Aye.
Commissioner Kern,
Aye.
Commissioner Ocampo,
I.
Commissioner Sewell,
Aye.
Commissioner Sims.
I.
Congrats, everyone.
That's for all three roles, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
For all, okay.
Yes.
That was awesome. Okay, moving on.
I guess like before, are we supposed to say thank you to Lisa for everything, like on behalf of, or I'll leave it to Frank actually, since he's the
We
vice.
can do that at the end.
Yeah, okay, got
Yeah.
it, got it. Okay.
Okay, let's move on to item G, subcommittee reassignment. We have an attachment, all the big subcommittees. Where is that?
Very end.
At the very end.
Remember, this was painful.
I know. Okay, here we go. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I'm sorry. Oh, here we go.
So this comes forward annually for the commission to determine whether or not anybody wants to jump off of a subcommittee or jump onto a subcommittee or to shuffle them. So
Just a quick question, Noreen. It says on the top of this document that this was updated on 9/19 of 22.
that was probably for staffing purposes.
Oh, staff purposes. Okay, thank you.
Okay, does everyone know what committees they are on? Is there a list? Oh, here it is. Here it is. I did?
It's on the last page.
Where? Where?
It's in the packet.
I know I did.
There it is, right there.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, let's go committee by committee. First is Brisbane Derby Day in the Park. We have Comerford, Greenlee, and Ocampo. Anyone want to jump off or jump on that one? I'm willing to stay on that one.
Me too.
If anybody else wants to, I can get off. I think I've been since, but I'm willing to stay on.
One more, when is this effective?
After this meeting.
Oh, okay.
And we do this annually, correct?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I think the difficult challenge is because we're in between projects
That was
Is that
where I
what
was going with that question.
and we haven't started with Day in the Park yet.
You can always
Oh.
elect to bring this back
Oh.
at a future meeting. So if you wanted to revisit this twice a year, we could do that too.
We-
Just needs to be on your agenda.
I think that we should take a look at this at year end in first quarter, sometime when we don't have a lot going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to leave Lisa high and dry on the events committee right now, and Tom right now as we're like in the middle of everything.
Right.
I think that's a really good idea.
I agree.
Yeah. Do we want to just keep it the same and postpone this reshuffle till when? When is a good time? After the fall, like when things kind of end in December after Festival of
Like
Lights?
I think after Festival of Lights, but maybe our January meeting, we take a look at this.
Yeah. Because we're
Okay.
we're all really
Great.
involved in this so far. So
Great.
let's do that.
Can I make one request? Since I kind of put myself on the seniors committee at the last meeting,
Which one?
is it okay if I officially join the seniors committee?
Oh, yeah, because there's only 2 on there right now. Right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep, we can put you on there.
Could I add myself to the habitat restoration?
Yes. Great. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, if there's any openings, you feel so moved as to insert yourself, like the beautification ad hoc committee only has Comerford on it, and it didn't do much last year, right?
Right, and it only has a
Nothing.
single representative from this advisory
Oh.
body because it's a council ad hoc
Oh,
subcommittee.
okay. Okay.
If anyone wants to do that, it was the easiest thing I did last year. Kind of like Julie as the secretary.
Did you do anything?
Nope.
Nope.
Saw my name
You're supposed to
every
say
time I
yes.
looked at this
You
table and
did.
when I did. Nope.
You're like, yes, I did. There's also an opening in Festival of Lights.
Yeah, I think it would be great if someone wants to join Festival of Lights.
Festival of Lights is fun.
Yeah.
Come on, Frank. No? Anyone?
I'll add myself to that one too.
All right.
I like that one.
Natalie?
Sure.
Okay.
And I'll do beautification if nobody else will. Because it kind of ties into the Arts Commission. I mean, beautification.
So you're talking about the second one?
Yeah.
But is that just a one person?
Yes.
Okay, so
why don't
you want to.
Nope, you replace me. I'd be more than happy to.
Okay. I thought you were cycling off. I
Yeah.
didn't know. Okay.
All right, we got a few updates in there. And then we'll plan to bring this back.
For something we're going to delay till
January?
the end of the year, we did pretty well.
Well, none of these are going to interrupt anything that's already in progress. I think it's just adding to some committees that needed a little help
Yeah.
Yep.
for the future. So that's good. Well done.
Updated 4/19/2023.
Yay.
But I would like to come back in January and just kind of recap and then do a shuffle.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Now where am I? Where'd my agenda go? Where is it? There. Okay. Now reports. Chairperson, I have nothing to report. Just me. Oh. Well, I can report that since I'm cycling off of this chair place, I'm now the chairperson of the Arts Committee. So yay. That's my report. Okay, subcommittees reports. Wow, we've got a lot of them. I've got it. Yeah. Okay. Concerts in the park. Do we have a report?
I guess like a quick update. So in the Concerts in the Park Subcommittee, we just talked about sponsorships. So everything is booked right now for on calendar. I believe it's been on so sponsorships, we've talked about sponsorships. And then the different types of levels of sponsorships. And then also the dates have been set for July and August. So July Fridays and August Sundays. So, and that has been posted, I think, online, right? And in our program guide. And I believe that's it.
Yeah, the one thing I'm remembering is we said we would attend a Chamber of Commerce mixer at the next one so that we could try to get sponsorships. So that's a good reminder. But if anybody's at that, we thought would be a good place to look for sponsors.
Sounds good. Is that it for that one? Okay, moving on to the seniors subcommittee meeting. Anyone on the seniors?
Yeah, Julie and I attended that meeting way back in March. And I feel like the meeting was about 60% education from staff to commissioners. And so we do appreciate all the insights that were shared. And of course, Sarah, as always, did a great job talking about the programming there. We had actually minimal feedback. And just keeping our eyes open for events, and different things that we can do for the seniors, including field trips and different opportunities along those paths. Anything that I missed, Julie?
No, that covered it. We saw some really great examples of crafts that the seniors had worked on and some activities. And yeah, it seemed like things were going well. And we talked about the thing that I see has now happened based on our citizen feedback of having walks on the mountain for seniors or
Great
people
call out.
over 55. Yes.
Yeah. Great call out. I absolutely forgot about that, but yes, that has come to fruition.
Okay, then we have the Public Arts Advisory Committee. I was at that one and so was Tom. Tom, you want to do a little recap?
Well, we almost have a master plan together that we're going to submit, right?
No, an RFP for a
RFP,
master
sorry,
plan.
not an RFP for the master plan. Sorry.
We got to do that
yes.
first.
And we have our own, we have a lot of energy, public energy around it. And we pretty much have our own free PR firm chugging out there in the public space, which is amazing. There is a lot of interest in this group. And and I love the fact that the YAC is going to get involved. And what else are we kind of working on?
We're really just trying to get out this RFP. I think staff did a great job writing it up, and all it needs to be is kind of codified and then put out there. And once we get that in hand and work on organizing how we make these decisions, we have a lot of great ideas. The public's welcome to give ideas. And we also have a meeting coming up, a little extra meeting with a group out at Sierra Point that wants to do, it's a business that wants to do their own, use their money for their own public art. And they're going to be presenting that, I believe, next Wednesday.
May 1st.
May 1st. And yeah, that'll be interesting because that's the first time that's happened. And it'll be a new experience for the city to go through that process. So.
And a lot of discussion about low hanging fruit.
Yeah,
Just
low
do some-
hanging fruit.
Do some simple projects.
Doing some simple projects around town that, you know, we can just get our feet wet and come up with some art that the city can enjoy and see some progress. on
Yeah,
that.
and learn to fulfill the master plan too.
Right, fulfilling the master plan. Anyways, and I got railroaded into being the chair. Yeah, everybody was like, Lisa, you have to do it. Anyways,
So
I'm
you know
happy
what
to
it
do
feels
it.
like.
I'm happy. I'm happy to do it, but only because I was cycling off of this. I thought, yeah, I probably have the headspace for that, even though, and being,
Well, you're a good person for it. But I have to tell you guys, the amount of sort of positive talk value this public art has been getting on social media in Brisbane among the residents, it's kind of exciting.
Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity.
Yeah, people are very interested. So
Yeah, and it's funny because as an artist in Brisbane, a professional commercial artist that I am, I think that there are a lot of creative and talented people on that committee who are also professional creative designers, artists, dance, performers in their own right. And I think we have a great mix of people on that committee who have a lot to offer. So it's not a bunch of kind of amateurs trying to figure it out. I think we really kind of know what we're doing, and it's really exciting. It's a good mix.
It is a good mix, and it's surprising that if you peel back the onion, almost everybody on the committee is an artist.
Yeah, almost everybody. Yeah, working artists. So I think that in itself is pretty amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So there you go. Then we have the events subcommittee meeting, which I am also on. Events, and Frank is on too.
Secret garden tour.
Yeah. So we've been working really hard on the secret garden tour, which is coming up. It's going to be a great event, and we're just in the massive process of putting it together. We've got volunteers. We're getting the Lions Club involved. I've got a master list of the 10 gardens that are going to be on the tour. And I hope everyone is just really looking forward to that. We're going to have our next meeting, I think yeah, we still have to schedule. We need to schedule our next meeting, but that date of June 10th is coming up. So put it on your calendars for the garden tour. Anything else, Tom?
And Nicole will get that scheduled like really quickly. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thanks.
My phone keeps reminding that I owe Lisa a copy. Every day it says you owe Lisa a copy for the map.
And rocks.
He did the rocks.
I already got the rocks.
Got the rocks, and we've got a prototype. So there you go. So we need to have that meeting. Next, item E is LUNAFEST.
I think it's coming along great.
Mhm.
Pretty much ready to go. There'll be great chocolate there.
And drinks, cocktails.
I think they're just working out the details, the fine details. And I think
Yeah,
it's-
we just need people to buy tickets.
So we should
Yes.
promote it. Yeah,
Yes,
let's all-
please.
Can you remind me the date? Do you remember?
It's like May
May 6th.
6th.
It's May 6th. I think our next LUNAFEST meeting is tomorrow,
It
actually.
is,
Yeah,
correct.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's coming down to the wire. It'll be fun, as it always is. So
What's
get
the-
your tickets now.
And what's the update on the tickets? Like, I know like there's a level, right? What is the ticket prices and the sponsorship? Is there like a sponsorship level or a VIP level or?
Yeah, so the VIP experience is structured a little bit differently. This year we'll have table seating on the wooden floor closest to the screen. And so you can do a table buyout for 4 tickets, or you could do a 2-ticket table seating, or individual VIP table seating, or just a general admission ticket. So general admission ticket's $25. And then I don't have the pricing for the VIP tables in front of me, but it's a tiered based on how many tickets are purchased. And yeah.
Single $75, 2 VIP tickets, 140, 4 VIP tickets, which is a table buyout for $275.
And we're also offering a link for sale as well for people who want to view from home.
Correct.
And there will be snacks. What do you get with a VIP ticket? You get
We said a drink ticket, wine at your table, commemorative glassware, early entry, complimentary, I think, hors
so it's kind
for
of
VIPs.
little
It's a reception
little
prior
reception.
to the screening.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And then the screening. It'll be a really fun time at the movies. Okay, let's go on to the setting subcommittee meetings. So we need to set the subcommittee meetings. Yes.
So we have already scheduled LUNAFEST for tomorrow and Public Art Advisory meeting for May 1st. And I think I heard that we need to schedule an events one. Yeah.
And then from today's, what is it, public, who called in today? About the comment today on attic, which one would that feel?
James Frisk, and he
Would that fall under recreational facilities?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, because I thought that are programs, but facilities is better.
Yeah, facilities is better.
Well, it seems like that connects with the Crocker Trail plan.
That's what I was thinking. Yes.
Mhm.
That is part of it.
But I also like the idea of having it in the park. That has been brought up before as far as something that parents could be doing while they're watching their kids, you know, or just something in the park that can be used. So that might be something that we can look into.
Yeah.
But that would go under that recreation facilities committee. Do they have a meeting set up?
We
Not
don't.
currently.
We don't.
So I think the other thing we've talked about with the the request that he made was also maybe installing along the trail.
Mhm.
I remember, I feel like that was about 4 or 5 months ago. We talked about that.
Well, yeah, the
And then
Crocker
the trail got washed out and that, but it's back. I mean, so I think we talked about that too. I sometimes wonder why the trails isn't under the recreational facilities. I'm not quite sure why we separate those.
It's just been that way in the past. And I think because the city did a bike pedestrian trails master plan. So that was more specific to just general park and rec facilities. Same with the Crocker Trail master plan. There was more in-depth involvement at the trail level than there was just looking holistically at rec facilities. So it made sense to have it broken out.
Okay, yeah.
So which direction are we going to go with this? Are we taking this? Is this being taken up by the recreational facilities subcommittee or trails development?
I mean, I think yeah, this is one where I feel like it could be both. I mean, to me, the way I've always thought about this is something along the trails.
But I also think it could be a park, could be a park thing. It doesn't necessarily an either or.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, so we could explore both and just say, okay, if we want to do this, here's what it'll cost, and just look at it, you know, and then get it, you know, move it forward. If it's something that people want to see happen, I think that's how it happens. You know?
Is it unusual for two subcommittees to come together to work on something?
It would be too many members of the commission.
Okay.
It would violate the.
It would be the
Brown Act in that
violation.
sense.
Got it.
Okay.
We could bring it back as an item to the full commission at a future meeting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe give it to the recreational facilities. It feels like that's more overarching than the trails. And then if right, so.
That's what I would say. And then Frank, you're on both committees, so you can socialize it and make sure it goes with everything.
Subtle
but-
diplomacy.
There's some continuity there.
Yeah.
He's very popular.
I was just going to say,
Checking
I
his
think this committee is pretty funny.
Calendar.
Okay, so we're setting meetings right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so Tom, how are we looking for recreational facilities? When do you want to? When our next meeting is May 10th?
Yep.
So they'll do it.
I can do
There's a third if somebody wants to join.
I can do Wednesday, Thursday of next week.
I never thought about that, but I'm on 4.
This would be like you know, like anytime like after 4:30.
Thursday, Wednesday, after 5.
Okay, after 5 next week.
So April 26th or 27th after 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, I will confirm with staff and then Jovi will send out the calendar invite.
Okay.
Okay.
Noreen, could I be added to that subcommittee or is that way too many?
Oh yeah, because there's only 2 currently. Yep.
Okay. What was the date on that next week?
Next Wednesday or Thursday at 5 p.m.
Okay, that works.
Yay.
We're a fun committee, Natalie.
That was easy.
Okay,
Okay.
let's scoot down to concerts in the park. Does that need to have a new meeting or is it okay?
I need to send out details for where we've gone for sponsorship already. We have already solicited $6,000 worth of sponsorships, but there's still room for more. Welcome more. So I will send out where we've been to the subcommittee and then where we will need some assistance with foot traffic. I don't necessarily know if a meeting is needed if you feel that way as well.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
Agree.
Okay, events needs a meeting pretty soon. So.
Sorry,
Frank,
can we just go ahead and firm up the 27th next Thursday at 5 PM for facilities?
Go for facilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Is that a Zoom meeting? Could that, or is that a live?
No, I think we need to be in person.
Okay, got it.
Okay, I was confused and thought that our events meeting was yesterday.
I know.
Because I showed up for it and it wasn't. So I'm ready to have a meeting anytime. What about you guys?
Showing up for some.
Well, it was in my calendar. I don't know. Anyways,
Frank or Lisa, if I could propose Monday or Tuesday, if that would work for either of you.
the 24th or 25th?
Yes.
24th is wide open. And Monday's good? How's
If,
it?
am I allowed to dial in via phone? If it's in person, I cannot do it.
How about Tuesday?
I can't do it.
Okay,
Tuesday.
no problem.
2449, you can dial in. Yes,
Okay.
Okay.
yes.
So when is good for you? Monday or Tuesday for dialing in?
Either one.
You're good with Monday? Okay, let's do Monday.
And are you open to earlier than 4 by chance or?
I could probably do a lunch meeting.
How about you, Tom?
Nope. Okay.
What's your time?
4:30.
4:30 has to be after 4:30.
Okay, I could do 4:30.
I can make 4:30 work.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, Festival of Lights is too early.
Yeah,
Okay, Habitat Restoration, is that pretty much going?
we have Earth Day coming up this weekend, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nicole's gonna provide a quick highlight on that.
Okay.
Oh, right now?
No. Sorry, not now. As part of the department report. Apologies.
Okay. Public Arts, we've got that scheduled, don't we?
Yes.
Yep. Recreational programs, does that need a meeting? Nope. Recreation facilities, you guys,
We set that.
you set that already?
Yep.
Seniors? Does that need a meeting? Nope, okay.
I don't think so.
The Yak. I don't think so. We just met with them. Okay, trail development.
Actually, back to Yak. I don't think I could be part of the subcommittee, correct? Because my daughter is on
Oh,
that.
yeah, I think we talked about that
Yeah.
before. Can we take you out? We'll take you off, Natalie.
Yes.
Okay.
So can I, oops. So, do you want to join?
No.
May I join, please?
Yes.
Thanks.
Yay.
There we go.
We thought we wouldn't have any changes.
No,
Luck.
Wow.
It's
This
good
is great.
though.
I love how it's working out.
Evolving.
Okay, trail development. Do we need to have a meeting? Nope.
I don't think so.
And Sierra Point Park Ad Hoc, which has Trudy on it. And I assume that meeting's called, right?
Until we have further direction from
Right.
council after their May meeting.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So that's it. Good job, you guys. Okay. Item G, commissioners. Nope, Nothing. Staff?
I've got a good amount of things to share.
Okay.
Angela had already mentioned the recap for spring break camp, which was successful 2 weeks. We did mention a little bit about the first walk with Paul and our seniors on San Bruno Mountain. While we had 5 that were interested, we had 3 that showed up, but we have more that are interested for the May that will be ongoing monthly through the summer just to test it out. But it seemed like they had a great time.
Question, Nicole, how did we solution for that? Did just staff drove the van and then everyone piled in?
Yes, so that we have a waiver, and if you're attending, you sign the waiver, staff drive the van, and then they make their way over to San Bruno Mountain. And they actually decided to expand the offering. Instead of it being 10 to 11, it's now moving forward going to be 9 to 11, just because there was so much to see and take in. So we will be changing that moving forward.
Do you know what trails they walked?
Specifically, no, but they were the novice trails.
Okay, that was great. Thank you.
Absolutely. Tomorrow, Sarah will be taking a group of 8 to the Exploratorium with our senior trips. That is full. And we mentioned the teen tech support, which started today, as well as the supplemental Get Appy program that we do have monthly through the San Mateo County. So lots of opportunities for your technology support. Our summer activity guide is out. Our resident registration opened on the 18th, and that was predominantly for our summer classes, as well as the summer swim lessons. And then our non-resident registration is May 2nd. We mentioned the LIT application deadline is April 28th. So we ask teens to get their applications in soon. Staff are preparing for the summer staff training coming up the week of June 20th. And then we are full steam into summer the following week. We will be holding our summer program, our summer camp program over at Littman, as well as our preschool program over at Littman, because BES will be doing some construction this summer. So we are excited for that new opportunity over at Littman this summer. Camps and swim lessons, as I mentioned, start June 26th. We also have heard that there is interest in some pickleball, and we will be obliging in the Littman drop-in pickleball this summer. That'll be Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 8:30 p.m. All are welcome. There is a $5 drop-in fee, but we will have courts lined up and a staff member that will be there just to ensure that everyone's playing fair. And we
What
look
is the
forward
time
to trying
again?
it out.
What's the time again?
Tuesday and Thursdays, and that's 6 to 8:30 p.m. And that's starting June 27th. The only omit date is July 4th. We will not be hosting pickleball that day.
Is
And
there
I
also equipment to rent or equipment for their, okay.
Yes, to borrow. We will have some, although I know a lot of people are very specific on the types of paddles that they use. So, but we will have some as well. And I know that Ricardo is also potentially looking into some other pickleball options as well. So we hear you. We're working on it. And then just with upcoming events, as we mentioned, Earth Day Habitat Restoration, 9:30 to 12:30 p.m. this weekend. All are welcome. They're going to be at Rock Wren Lane. On the 28th, we have our final team dance, as our youth advisory committee members shared, at Mission Blue. May is National Water Safety Month, and our aquatics team will be sharing some coloring pages and advocating for water safety. We do have our we do have May 6th, LUNAFEST coming up. May 18th, Bike to Work Day. We have our final Parents Night Out, May 13th. A senior trip on May 17th. We're taking a group to the Golden Gate Bridge and lunch in the Presidio. Finally, we have our June 9th preschool graduation, as well as the June 10th garden tour coming up.
Wow.
We're out of winter.
Full on into summer. Here we come.
Ready, set, go.
That's great. And is that all? Yep. Okay, great. That's a lot.
As per usual, we have to say, Nicole, is that all?
Is that all? Okay. On to item number 10, commission matters. Do we have any written communication?
None tonight.
None tonight. Okay, so in that case, I believe that this meeting.
Before you adjourn, we just wanted to take a moment to thank Lisa for serving as the chair of the commission for the past year plus, I think it was. Yeah, from a staff perspective, you've been really wonderful to work with, and we appreciate your lighthearted approach and your sense of humor and your dedication. You're willing to take the ball down the field. Like you always tell people, if you want something done, grab the ball and take it down the field yourself. And you've really demonstrated that in your leadership. And so from staff, we just wanted to say thank you very much for your time as chair.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Noreen. Take the ball and run with it is the feedback that you give us on every suggestion that we have. And we appreciate your inspiration, and you're easy to smile and fun to work with. So thanks, Lisa.
Well,
I agree as well. Thank you so much. I'm still glad you're going to be still with us, but we enjoy your lighthearted and all your sense of humor, and everything that you do, you put your hands into every single thing, and it's been done very well. So, and more. So thank you so much.
Thanks. Well, I got to say that I was very nervous to take this on because I don't want to put this out there, but being a cancer survivor, my brain doesn't always work. It's cloudy, and you guys have made it really easy. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to be organized. It's hard to show up. It's hard to do the work, but I try really hard, and I'm just feel the support from all of you, and I really appreciate it. So I got to say, now the final time I get with this gavel. It's so nice to be in this room again, you guys. It's so nice. I'm going to call this meeting adjourned.
Thank you, Lisa.
Louder.
Good luck, Frank.